Chapter 2, Section 2, Clearing the Space of Past's Requests. And so it was that little body went to work, and before she knew it, she forgot that she was at work at all. Little body truly started to enjoy all the things she was to see, for each had a resplendent memory. Some memories were soft, others were rough, but in each remembering she found herself more deeply in touch with who she was now and all that she had been, recognizing her unfurled evolution in each moment made genuine. How she was then intermixed with how she related to it now concluded so many prior curiosities with a simple furling of her brow. For as this moment had never happened, she could assuredly perceive the awareness of her attendants becoming unified in this irradiated ontogeny. Before little body knew it, all of her chores were complete, and what a difference it made now that everything was neat. So as she looked around from her once favorite chair, she realized that her legs were too long to sit comfy and stare. So in that moment she had discovered the very first thing to let go of today and spontaneously began to sing. My space is all clear, and in cleared space I so light that I will find 2 more things to release with the sweetest delight, because I am getting bigger and better each and every day, and certainly I have outgrown many things along the way. What I presumed might be sad, what I thought might feel bad, when I met it in reality and truth, has conversely made me glad. For not only have I easily come to discover many more than 3 things, I know exactly to whom and how to give these gifts I will bring. And the idea of the receiver's reaction has touched me so deep that there is certainly no reason that these things, which are just things, I would ever now choose to keep. Not only have I let go, but I've discovered what was too big before now and did not so much impress, 7 years later might just be my favorite dress. For 3 years ago this was far too funny to wear, and the foresight to see this day come to pass was far too much for my mind then to bear. But now, oh now, it is the perfect size, and it fits me just right, and of today's toils and endeavors so far is my favorite prize. Chapter 2, Section 3, Revealing the Joy of Cleared Space. Oh mama, come here, please be here now, I am complete. By your request, my task is done. Let me show you my room. Let me show you what your desire for me through me has spun. First of all, look what I finally fit into, what is now my favorite hand-me-down dress. And as I twirl before you in this perfect attire, I surely understand why I need you a little less. Because mother, sweet mother, I have learned that cleaning up what was mine from before shows me all that I have had and now have to offer, both to myself and yourself and so many other selves around, that the gifts in life are always uncovered from within and thus only discovered abound. When we look for what is not rather than appreciate what is, reforming our memory with usurious ideas of what has been, we forget that we have gifts that only get created from within. I would have never thought of someone else's joy which brought me so much glee if you had not asked for what you needed and made clear your plea of me. To give attention to the untidiness in my perception that I so wanted to ignore was at first something that I admittedly abhorred. For I thought I was self-sufficient because I knew where I wanted to go, and did not realize that without cleaning it was only a projection in which I wanted to burrow. But now my mind is colored by all the things cleaned, cleansed, released, or placed, and those things are now active or free from being held back in an unconscious embrace. And last but not least, and lovingly filially, I can care for you more because now I can see that for as long as I have not cleaned up my messes from before with some finality, I will never be creative with what's before me. Ah, splendid, Mother Past bellowed, and then just a little wept. Little body, that's great, my dear. I am very proud of you and the promises you have kept. And while the wisdom sounds rich, as the growth feels so true, before you go to be with presence, there is one more thing you must do. You must check in with your father and make sure he doesn't have any requests. See that there are no ways he might be bothered, or your journey will not be fully blessed. My dear, know that I am now thrilled and need no more of your will. And within the light of your father and my own embraced resonance, we will be all ready to encounter the splendid gift that will come from being with your beloved grandmother presence. With tremor and high timbre, little body's temper expressed. But Mama, oh Mama, that's not fair. That's not what you said. Then Mother Past urged, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, little body. Go speak with your dad. Little body slumped as she walked out of the door from Mother's perception. And then Mother Past, full of compassion for her little girl and this child's impermanent form, aired. Little body, with all that wisdom that you just attained, did you forget that you have two parents, and certainly not just one? For it is from two separate beings that almost every life is begun. And although we love each other, we are very different indeed, each of us particular, with our own inherent needs. One more thing, little body. You best not let your father hear any tone of this complaint, because for I am the one in whose womb you have been, while your father is far less contained. Still I detect attachment to what is to come to be, for you cleaned your room out of what it appears is a projection of what you will eventually perceive. And to this I pose the question, why would you want to limit your destiny? I entrust you'll now see that you are to be awake to what through you will be. I heard you speak some wisdom, and by that wisdom I am much impressed. But I see it's not integrated quite as well as your grown form is to the hand-me-down dress. You see, the projection is not what is, it is merely some conception. And for that reason and that reason alone, dear, go see your father in his mythically demonstrated perception. Please do not be sad, for cultivate all the joy that's come from what has been before. For memory is not what has happened, but how you reform it in this day and forevermore. Self-sufficient you will be when your love is all you are, no longer a conception, but the clarity of each and every shining star. This whole universe is light reaching for itself. Sweet starlight, know that there is only an ever-present us, and that is all that is of what we call else. For the universe is not happening to you. You are happening to the universe and must decide what your one verse is. I and your father and everyone else will simply show up as you decide and deem. Believe it or not, we are only your promulgated tryst. You are the dreamer in the dream.